It all started with a strange feeling, a cold whisper brushing the back of my neck, telling me something was off. I had always seen myself as the kind of husband who trusted his wife implicitly, who believed deeply in the vows we took. But over the last few months, things began to change in ways I couldn't ignore. Lydia, my wife of 10 years, had become distant. She was constantly glued to her phone, laughing at messages she refused to share. She worked late more often, and suddenly started paying more attention to her appearance, more than she ever had before. She claimed it was for herself, to boost her confidence, but it never felt that way to me. I wanted to trust her. I truly did. I tried convincing myself that maybe I was just overthinking, that I was being paranoid. But then came the night I found the receipt. It was for a fancy dinner at a restaurant neither of us had ever been to, a romantic place downtown, with candlelit tables and a reputation as a popular spot for proposals. The receipt had been crumpled and shoved deep inside her purse, underneath a worn lip balm and a half-eaten granola bar. When I asked Lydia about it, she hesitated, then mumbled something about a work meeting. Her eyes dropped to the floor like a guilty child caught in a lie. Work meeting. Right, I said quietly. I didn't press her further that night. I could have exploded, demanded answers then and there, but something inside told me to hold back, to gather proof. If I confronted her too soon, she'd deny everything and I'd be left feeling foolish. So, I did what any man in my situation might do. I became a detective. I started small, watching her phone when she wasn't paying attention. She grew increasingly protective of it, always angling the screen away from me, but I was patient. Before long, I noticed the same number showing up repeatedly, texts arriving at all hours. Sometimes the messages were simple, "Can't wait to see you," or "Missed you today." Each time my stomach twisted with dread. The number was saved as Kara, but I knew better. Kara didn't send texts like that. One night, while Lydia was in the shower, I used the passcode I had memorized weeks earlier to unlock her phone. My hands trembled as I opened her messages. There it was, plain as day, a conversation with someone named Mark. Mark, with his smooth compliments, the "I love the way you laugh" messages, the "when can I see you again" texts. Lydia's replies made my stomach turn. She told him she missed him, that he made her feel alive, that she was looking forward to their next lunch meeting. I thought about confronting her then, bursting into the bathroom, demanding answers, but I held back. Part of me didn't just want a confrontation. I wanted her to feel the same pain I was feeling. The betrayal. I wanted her world to shatter just like mine had. So, I waited and made a plan. The opportunity arrived sooner than I expected. Lydia had been working on a major project at her marketing firm, something she'd been bragging about for weeks. It involved a new client, a startup eager to make a big impact in the industry. She was scheduled to give a crucial presentation at their downtown office and had been nervous and excited about it for days. That morning, I kissed her goodbye and wished her luck. She smiled, her lips brushing my cheek, and I wondered if she kissed Mark the same way. As soon as she left, I sprang into action. The delivery was easy enough, a quick stop at the florist, then the copy shop, and by noon I had everything ready. I parked outside the client's office building, watching through the window as Lydia stood confidently at the front of the room in a sleek black dress, the picture of professionalism and devotion. My jaw clenched at the lies she told to get there. When the delivery driver arrived, I handed him the package and made sure he knew exactly where it had to go. "Make sure it gets to Lydia Thompson," I said. "She's expecting it." She wasn't. Not even close. I watched from the car as the driver entered the building, the box in hand. 10 minutes later, chaos erupted. Through the glass, I saw Lydia freeze mid-sentence as the package was handed to her. She opened it with a polite smile, probably expecting flowers or some congratulatory gift. Instead, inside the box were printed screenshots of her text with Mark, along with a handwritten note, "You're not as clever as you think you are." The room went silent. Her face went pale. Her hands shook as she flipped through the pages. The client team, men in suits, exchanged confused glances, then looked back at Lydia. I couldn't hear their words, but I saw the panic in her eyes as she struggled to explain, to salvage the presentation. It didn't work. Then there was Mark. I'd done my homework on him too. He was her co-worker, a slick account manager with a wife and 2 kids. I found his address, social media profiles, even the school his children attended. I debated whether to involve his family, but in the end, I chose a more direct route, right after Lydia's disastrous presentation. I followed her to the cafe where she and Mark usually met. She didn't notice me tucked away in a quiet corner near the back, sipping coffee and watching as Mark strolled in and took the seat across from her. They spoke quietly, Lydia's hands moving anxiously as she tried to explain the fallout from earlier. I could see the shift in Mark's expression as the gravity of the situation sank in, confusion turning to concern, and finally, dread. That's when I stood up and walked over. "Mark, right?" I said, looming over their table. He looked up sharply, his face cycling through confusion, realization, and panic in a matter of seconds. Lydia froze, her face drained of all color, her mouth working silently like she couldn't find the words. "Who the hell are you?" Mark asked, but his voice lacked conviction. He already knew. Without a word, I dropped a small stack of printed photos onto the table, images of the two of them walking into hotels, laughing together in his car, sneaking out of bars late at night. "I'm her husband," I said evenly. "The one you've been lying to. The guy you've been screwing over while playing pretend with my wife." Mark's face went ghostly. Lydia reached out to grab my arm, tears slipping down her cheeks. "David, please, let's talk about this at home." "Oh, we'll talk," I replied, brushing her hand away. "But first, I think Mark here has some explaining to do." I leaned in slightly. "Just so you know, I've already forwarded these photos to your wife and to HR at your company. Thought they deserved to know who they're really dealing with." You can't do that," Mark stammered. "You'll destroy my life." "You already did that yourself," I snapped. "Both of you did. What? Did you think there wouldn't be fallout? That you could just stroll through other people's lives, break up marriages, and walk away clean?" Lydia broke down completely, sobbing into her hands. Mark sat frozen, looking like a man who had just watched everything fall apart in real time. I turned to leave but paused at the door, tossing one final grenade over my shoulder. "Oh, and Lydia," I said, glancing back. "Don't bother coming home. The locks have been changed, your stuff's in storage, and I've already spoken to a lawyer. Good luck explaining all of this to your parents."
Her sobs followed me out into the street, but I didn't stop. I didn't look back. For the first time in a long while, I felt unshackled. Over the next few weeks, Lydia made several attempts to reach me. Calls, texts, long voicemails filled with apologies, explanations, promises to change. I ignored them all. Mark's wife filed for divorce. HR reviewed the evidence I'd sent and terminated him shortly after. As for me, I focused on starting over, slowly, one step at a time. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary. Lydia and Mark had made their choices, and now they were living with the aftermath. And me? I was finally free to live with mine.